Juggalos in recovery, man.
Yo, 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 what is up? It is another Sunday, and this is Sober Soldier Sundays, meeting of Juggalos in recovery, and I'm your host, D. We've been trying to get a whole bunch of different speakers, trying to get all the people that show up here on a regular basis to come speak, people outside of Juggalos in recovery to come speak. And this guy I've been showing, I asked to speak. He's been showing up to a lot of meetings, and we've got to talk quite a bit. And I know he has long term sobriety as a result of working a program. And I know like he was on sub maintenance and he got off that too. And I'm very interested to hear more of his story. I've only heard bits and pieces through us talking in the meetings, but from talking to him, I can tell his recovery is strong, and I'm excited to hear his story. And with that, I'll give you one of our core members of Juggalos in Recovery that comes out a lot and supports a lot. And with that, James, it is all yours. Just everybody, after he gets done sharing, be respectful, raise your hands, take turns, unmute, talk, all that good stuff. And with that, I give you James Barry.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, I'm James. Can you guys hear and see me? It's
Loud and
good?
clear, loud and clear.
All right. All right, I guess I'll start it off. So, pretty much had a pretty normal childhood growing up. Pretty good, like really good family. Didn't come from a broken home or anything like that. My dad was traveling on the road a lot, demolition work. I always worked for him. I'm gonna fast forward this because it's a lot, but so normal life, going to college, things are going good. Drinking and partying, not as a means to escape reality, as a way to enhance an already amazing life. Like I was partying to enhance an already awesome experience. So breakups with girlfriends, pretty much regular trauma of anybody going through life, led me into some pretty heavy narcotics. But I got into ICP probably in junior high. I know this is like recovery stuff, but my friend circle where I'm from, I'm originally from Buffalo, but I went to high school in Messina. I went to college at SUNY Canton, but I had my friends were juggalos, and our thing was to do as many drugs as humanly possible at all times, and it was just normal. But it was party, and we were chilling. We had all our own handshakes and stuff. Like we watched the movies. We'd all hang out. We'd play hacky sack with each other. We'd have 40 people deep over at this church playing hacky sack, all juggalos. And that's just from my pretty much my hometown. And that's from when I was like 14 years old, 14, 15. And I'm almost 33 years old now. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't have them involved in my life 100%. Like Clockwork Gray by Blazy Dead Homie. On my way back from a meeting, I just got back from a meeting. I went to an NA meeting. It's just pretty much the same platform. But going back to my main story, so I was in college working for my family, and I got out of work and looking for an apartment. I had a couple drinks with my girlfriend, driving back down East Orbit Street in Messina, and I hit a pedestrian and struck him and killed him, not in a crosswalk, but in the village of Messina. Um, my life immediately changed. It was completely like I lost the ability to joke around anymore or to not take life seriously. It was pretty life shattering for somebody coming from my lifestyle to be abruptly halted at all costs. Like from the time I got my car to the time of that car accident, the keys never turned off. The motor never stopped running. I was ripping and running, working and partying like really hard up until that car accident where I had to get serious. And I ended up going through 10 years straight of a lot of dramatic loss, a lot of traumatic change, a lot of traumatic learning experiences, and had to grow up really fast at the age of 21. And I was a baby at 21 years old compared to the way I feel now after prison systems, jails, city jails in two different states, on parole, traveling for work on an interstate transfer from New York to Indianapolis. Got in a little bit of trouble out there. Was in a halfway house system that kind of went under, and I guess there was problems with management. The place wasn't legit, and I got sent back to New York on a violation because I got caught with some drugs out there, and so I came back to New York and finished my prison bid, which I went from 7.5 to 14. I took a plea, went to treatment for 3 or 4 years, and got a 1 1/3 to 4. I did 16 months straight in Gowanda here in New York, which is it was very life altering. But I actually got my recovery experience first before I had to go to the prison system. So cognitive behavioral therapy. I learned integrity. I learned doing the next right thing when no one's looking, and that was pretty much the basis for my whole recovery. Was doing the next right thing when no one's looking because it's the right thing to do, not because someone's like you're trying to appear as a certain way. Like doing it for me, building my character. Sorry, I have like a sinus cold right now or allergies or something. So if I keep my nose is kind of running, so I apologize for that. But yeah, so I went to St. Joe's here in New York, and it was 3 months intensive. Then I went from there to a halfway house for 6 months. Ended up dropping acid at the end of my stay as like a celebration for completing it because I had no intention on staying clean. I was just dealing with the legal system. But I picked up a lot along the way. I learned a lot about recovery along the way, subconsciously anyway, through osmosis, and didn't really apply a lot of it until like things started getting really bad in my addiction, IV using, what have you. I've overdosed. I've been through a lot with drugs, down to 100 pounds, and really struggling to just stay alive. It went from a point where it wasn't fun for me to get high anymore. I was doing it just to, I don't know, dealing with the trauma of like car accidents in the prison system, or the fact that I couldn't drive a vehicle and I lost my license, and it was just really difficult for me to accept the fact that I was emasculated by the, even going to meetings. I was emasculated because there'd always be somebody that would drive a group of us to the meeting, and I'd be in like the back seat, and I would use that as an excuse to get high because I was so discouraged with my situation. Instead of, and it was my mindset. Instead of being proactive in my approach to every situation, I just wasn't there yet. I hadn't learned that no matter what the circumstances, I can choose how to act. I don't have to be reactive to the situation. I can choose to move forward productively and take a step back and separate myself and find my place in the situation, and why is it that I'm feeling angry. Just basic cognitive behavioral therapy that I've learned to really control my anger issues, because that was a lot of the reason I got high, was because of my anger issues. And putting expectations on situations that I have no control over really led me to a lot of use, because I would put expectations on people and expect people to need to live up to my expectation, and it would just lead to me being frustrated all the time. I was so frustrated with human beings coming around me with their character defects and the way about them, and I would just literally let that eat me alive. But I've learned through recovery to be proactive and not let situations control my chemical releases through my brain, because drugs were just a cheat code for me to control all my emotions. But if I have emotional intelligence like I do now, and I can take myself out of the situation, take a step back and be proactive, and look at the reason, like, why am I feeling angry right now? Why am I upset? Well, it's because I have expectations that aren't being met by the certain situation. And if I keep my expectations low, but I keep my hopes up, and I try to see the best in people, like John Locke, the glass is half full instead of being pessimistic and having a shitty outlook on life, because I had a really negative outlook, and I think it really led me to have some bad circumstances, because I let everything keep me prisoner. I let every outside situation control how I felt instead of being in control of my own life. And that's why I did drugs, because I wanted to be in control. I had control issues and I had anger problems. But now in life on life's terms, I'm not like that anymore. Life is gonna happen to me regardless. The way I am now, I take every day as a blessing. I live with gratitude, and it sounds cliche or whatever, and it may sound corny, but I really live that life. Like I wake up with a smile on my face on purpose. I wake up like, I have a lot to be grateful for, and I'll run through the list. Because I've been to some really traumatic, crazy places that I don't ever want to see again. And to have the mindset to want to be in these self help meetings and talk to individuals like you guys and be involved in psychology and self awareness and really be involved in self help and working on my character defects, working on my character, having actual people that are interested in being knowledgeable on how to approach life effectively. That's my main thing now. So I pray in the morning. I'm like, dear God, please help me keep the motivation to want to be slow to anger. Please keep me grounded in my efforts today to be grateful for where I'm at, because it'll slip away from me if I let it. If I'm not careful, I'll get complacent and I'll just lose my focus. And I've been doing really well in being grateful, because my anger, I can diffuse any irritation as long as I have a little bit of gratitude. Because it's like, why am I being angry? At least I have a roof over my head. I have food in my stomach. I've running water. Like the city comes and picks up my garbage here. Like this is there's so much to be grateful for, because I've literally been to hell. I've literally seen where it's, you know what I mean? It's really some hard places I've been spiritually. I've been gone. Like I've been in psychosis. I've been to places that really like terrified me to the core, where I just know now I have nothing to bitch about. Like if I'm having a shitty day, I need to check myself, and literally like just these techniques of psychology, just slight little um, adjustments in my thinking have made such a profound difference in my well-being and my attitude. And it's been gratitude, and it's been building my integrity, picking up the piece of garbage that I walk by, even though it's not my fucking wrapper on the sidewalk. Just pick it up and throw it out, because it's the right thing to do. I'm part of the solution. I'm not part of the problem anymore. Because I'm not littering. I'm not doing things that make me feel gross. You know what I mean? I don't like feeling icky. Somebody said that to me in a meeting. It kind of stuck with me. Like not doing things that make me feel icky or disgusting, like lying or not being honest with who I am. I can look in the mirror at myself and be proud of who I am. I'm exactly who I want to be today. And that's what I'm trying to hold on to with all of me. And I go to 7 meetings. Well, this is my 8th meeting this week. Actually, my 9th meeting this week, because I pretty much work at a volunteer. Well, I volunteer at a recovery center, and they host meetings in there too, like Smart Recovery, and I think they do an NA new meeting. But I'm really involved in the recovery community, because it's like-minded people sharing experience, strength, and hope to help each other stay sober. And somebody said at a meeting last night, the basic text. I know we probably have our own in Juggalos in Recovery, but the basic text, these meetings, like this, somebody just told me this last night. My share and my experience, strength, and hope could be the closest thing anybody gets to a basic text. They might not read that. They might not resonate with them, or they might just not have a chance to read it because they don't have the patience to read a self-help book. So they can only sit there and listen. It's like wanting to read a book, but you have to have Google text type read it to you, because you don't have the patience to read. So like me sharing, or you guys sharing, could be the thing that saves somebody's life, because it's the closest thing they get to a real basic text. And that stuck with me, and it made me ambitious to share more. And I used to just want to sit and listen and absorb, but experience, strength, and hope. I have a lot of experience, and I can separate out my character defects now and give the hope, because I know this gratitude shit, it sounds stupid, but it works. And for me, it's been working. And if I could suggest that, when you're getting mad and frustrated, to pull, well, this is what I do for me. Keep it on the eye. I pull myself out. Why am I not being grateful right now? Because I go right into survival mode with my checklist. Like, I have food, I'm not dead, I can breathe, I'm not having a panic attack, I have spiritual awareness, like all these good things that are happening for me. I'm in control. I don't feel guilty. I know what's coming next because my life isn't a roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm consistent. It's not super euphoria and it's not super depression. This is consistency. This is life on life's terms. This is God. You know what I mean? This is God's world. And I'm not doing anything to piss the gods off or God or the God of my understanding. And I don't have any chaos. I don't have any chaos right now. I'm not in jail. I don't have to worry about going to jail because I'm not putting myself in situations that could compromise my integrity today and put me at risk because I'm protecting myself now. I'm in control finally. I'm in control of my circumstances. I don't have anything holding me back. And if I could just stay grounded in this mindset, I'm going to go a long way. I can feel that because I would never jump on a recovery meeting on Zoom in my apartment. I don't know how to do this stuff. I don't know how to live right because my way of thinking is so messed up and so skewed and so wrong. And it's been so traumatizingly chaotic for me the way I handle things that I needed to start taking suggestions from other people that had some clean time and that had some experience in psychology and self awareness because it's taken me a long time to get this way. It took me a long time to get sick like I was, and got to a point where the drugs weren't for fun anymore. It was no longer to enhance an already great life. It was I need to control every freaking thing about the way I feel right now because I've lied so much and I have such low self-esteem right now because of all these things I gotta lie about with this use, lying to my family if I'm high, if I'm not high. And over the years in recovery treatment episodes, my character, this is what I'm working on right now. My character is so where I want it to be right now that I'm wondering if this is what's gonna take me out because I'm doing good character wise, you know? And this is a brain disease. So if my character defects, if I'm working on those, what's to say I can't have a few? You know what I mean? Or I can't use this is my sick thinking. This is where it comes back to haunt me because I feel like I'm in control and I get complacent. And that's what my downfall. I can see that is gonna be is okay. I'm not a lying piece of shit. I have self respect. I have integrity. I'm doing the next right thing. So what? I can get high. Fuck it, right? As long as I'm not stabbing anybody in the back, and as long as I'm not lying about it, I can treat myself. As long as I only spend $60, or as long as I only use Friday night and go to sleep by Sunday night, I'm good. And that's always been what's taken me completely out. Because as I get recovery knowledge and I work on myself, my self-esteem and my character defects, I don't look at the substance as even a fucking issue anymore. It's not an issue. The drugs are a symptom of my disease. So what takes me out is that exact mindset. It's $60 every couple weeks, and it's not gonna hurt me because I'm not lying to anybody, or I have self-worth. I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it, you know. And that's what I'm terrified of right now. That's where I'm at in my recovery, staying grounded with like-minded people like you guys. And where I'm at, my home group over here, I'm in Watertown, New York. I don't know if you guys seen that view, but like I have a beautiful life right now. You know what I mean? I got the penthouse up here. You know, I'm right smack dab in the city. I don't know if you guys can see that really clear, but like, beautiful apartment. I have a beautiful life. I have a beautiful family. I have beautiful friends in the program, and things are just going really well. So if any experience I can share is just trying to stay focused and not be ungrateful because this could be gone. You know what I mean? This could just, I know how I get, and I'm gonna if I use, I'm gonna burn bridges. If I burn bridges, you know what I mean, I'm gonna lose this place. And I've been here almost 3 years now. So, but I've lost so many jobs. I've lost a lot of opportunities because of drugs, and they don't love you back. They don't love me back. They never have. And I'm just cheating God, you know. I feel like I'm cheating the spirits that are harnessed through me now, and I just don't want to lose this contract I'm on. I feel like I'm in a contract with God because I haven't been having panic attacks. I haven't been having chaos. I haven't been having negative things happen to me because I've been doing the next right thing and genuinely trying to be a better person. So if I stay on top of this, I feel like I'm gonna be all right because I haven't been able to drive for since 2013. I haven't been able to drive. I got my driving privileges back this last year, and I'm taking my road test like this month probably, and I could hopefully go back to work for my family. My father said I should be able to come back to work. Depends on where the job is next. He's in New Jersey right now, so like I travel for work, but every time I got on those jobs, I screwed it up because I didn't have a driver's license, and it was just stressful trying to juggle rides to work. And but now I feel like so free to have my driving privileges back. I don't know if anybody's struggling with getting their license back, but that is what's kept me sick because I let it keep me sick instead of just being like in God's time it'll come. I'm grateful at least I have feet to walk on. You know what I mean? Simple little tweaks of my mental point of view. It just takes a little bit of perspective to get me through anything because life is going to keep happening. I'm going to have trials and tribulations. I'm going to have negative stuff still happen to me. And that's what somebody shared that stuck with me too is thinking just because I'm doing the next right thing and thinking because I'm clean, that bad shit is just gonna stop happening to me all of a sudden because I have my life together. Like bad shit's still gonna happen, but at least now I have self-awareness enough to choose not to be reactive and choose not to be negative towards the situation. Everything is a learning lesson for me now. I'm not looking at it as a hurdle. It's a lesson. It's a test. It's a test of my will. It's a test of my patience. It's a test, and I'm going to use it to my advantage. Everything is an opportunity to me today. I'm not going to look at it any other way ever again. So I can't lose with that mindset. Is my mindset. I'm like, okay, so I'm having trouble getting a job because of my background check, whatever, it's given me an opportunity to practice my interviews, you know what I mean? Because I've gotten like 6 jobs out here that they canceled on me because of my background check right at the last second. Like really good jobs that I wanted to work at. But I'm like, yo, I got a lot of experience in interviews now, and I've gotten every single job that I've applied for. So it's just like turning the situation around. I could choose to let it torture me and play the victim, or I could take it and be a man and handle it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna bitch and whine about it. I'm gonna adapt and overcome with this. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it something. I'm not gonna just waste these opportunities because that's what it is. Like I don't think I'm here for no reason, but like I like to be around people that are motivated to wanna not bitch and bicker about life because it only took a couple like talks like this with a couple people for me to be like, I resonate with that. I'm with that right there. Like because I do find myself bitching a lot. You know what I mean? I do play the victim throughout the dailies, like the driving in traffic and the stuff like that. That you know what I mean? Or getting up on a Monday, having to go to work. Like I get an opportunity to feed my family. Like it's not a chore to have to go and work. It's a freaking opportunity. I get to go and make some money and take care of my family. Like now I'm not bitching about Monday morning going to work. Like simple little tweaks like that. I don't know if that helps anybody, but it's helped me a lot. And yeah, I don't really know what else to share besides that. I mean, pretty much hear what you guys got to say, but I appreciate you guys letting me share. Is that long enough, Brian?
Hell yeah, that was great. Actually, that was super amazing. I was sitting here the whole time wondering if Ty was your sponsor because you sound like a chip off of his block, with all the stuff you were saying. And I mean, you're talking about exactly what we talk about in these meetings all the time. Is like mindset is a giant thing, in your recovery life, and seeing the glass half full instead of half empty is like a huge thing in recovery life. And like you were talking about though, like all the self knowledge in the world, all the self will in the world, like that ain't gonna keep you sober, right? But living in God's grace and God's will, that's what's gonna keep you sober, right? If you're doing the next right thing, you're growing spiritually, you're developing spiritually, and you're keeping that good mindset and those people and that network around you. That's how you stay sober. Because when life is going good, it's so easy to have that disease in your head, which is that spiritual malady if you're not growing, like tell you, oh, it'd be okay to do this. And like I hate the cliche sayings, but like when they say to play the tape through, you know what I mean? Like, it's true. Like, sometimes you just got to stop and think, like, where does this lead me every single time I pick back up? Like, yeah, it might be good for a little while, but eventually I'm going to be right back to where I was when I first got sober, or even worse than that. I might not make it back, you know. But with that, it's y'all's meeting. I see some hands up. Ty, then Emily. Y'all can take turns. You can unmute yourselves and share.
What up, y'all? Ty, alcoholic addict. James, that was great, man. That was awesome. I related to a lot of that, especially the driving part. I've only had my license actually for since 2022. Yeah, so just about it'll be 2 years in like September that I finally got my license. I did a lot of driving like illegally. I got into a lot of trouble. I avoided it. Like I avoided paying fines and paying like tickets and things like that forever, and it just got worse and worse. And finally I had a great man help me get out of that financial situation, and help me in this sober path. But there was a lot of great things in there that you said. Gratitude is one thing that I resonate a lot with. Some of y'all from the some of y'all from these meetings might know, that are in the group chat. I send out a gratitude list every morning to people that I meet in meetings, and some of y'all that I met through Juggalos and Recovery. Um, I try to do my best. I miss it some days. Actually, I don't even think I wrote it today, but it's because I slept in. I had a day off and I slept in. I never sleep in. I'm an early riser. I catch meetings at 7 a.m. and I go to both AA and NA meetings. I'll go to anything. I'm even like about to probably step into Al-Anon, and I'm a part of this men's group called AWOL, where we just read like self-help books. AWOL stands for A Way of Life, and we get together. It's not recovery based, but everybody in the group is definitely in recovery. And right now we're reading the Four Agreements, which is a great, great read. And a lot of that is just staying on top of yourself, speaking, being impeccable when you speak, not to take things personal, try to do your best, and to be honest and straightforward. And it's really, it's just kind of when you start, as I've worked these steps, I go to my home group is a step meeting, um, a 12-step meeting, and we go through a different step every week, and every 3 months we go through the steps over and over again. We just keep going through them over and over again, just keep reading them and reading them and reading them, and every single time there's something more to go. There's something more to learn, and the biggest thing I think I take from the program and what I've learned is to evolve. I think it's in step 9, in the 12 and 12, where it says something about like resting on your laurels. Like we do a little bit of these amends in the beginning when we first get sober, and then we rest on our laurels. I never knew what resting on our laurels meant, but it really means just to like get to a certain point and be okay, and to never evolve, never to move forward, never to grow again. It's like, all right, I did this, and I never did it again. I've had friends who were like, "Oh, you're still going to those meetings? You're still working the 12 steps? Like you didn't work the 12 steps? Like, oh, I worked the 12 steps. They didn't work for me. I started drinking again." It's because we don't work the 12 steps. Like we work at them at different times, but we live the 12 steps. Or, at least myself. Like, and that's what makes it work. So, and I find it fascinating that like there's so many different things you can find in different realms of recovery, even with the men's group that I go to. There's just like there's so much. It's just self improvement. And I don't want to be like one of those big book thumpers, but it even says like in I think it's in the big book where it says something about like you know people have done this since ancient times. They'd go out there and they would like struggle with finding food, and they would get together and they talk about it in caves and stuff under a fire and things like that. Times have evolved, struggles have evolved, and things like that. And we deal with this addiction, this disease that is of the mind. That like I tell people all the time. I hear it, not to get it caught on cliches, but I don't have a drinking problem these days. I have a thinking problem, like because that's really what it is. my head, you know. Any little thing, and it all goes back to kind of like taking things personal. You know what I mean? It's like, I could take any little thing personal, like somebody's tone of voice, the way they looked at me, to like whatever action or whatever they might have done, and so I try to go back and try not to take things personal. And I also like what you said about like picking up a piece of trash, and not, even though it's not your piece of trash. One thing that drives me crazy, I work at a pet store, people that don't return their fucking shopping carts, man. Like that shit drives me crazy. Like, and it's like it's like, how do you know a person is a good person? It's like, like really truly is like, are they going to return their shopping cart? Because there's no law, there's no penalty, there's no anything, there's no reward or any of that. If you return the shopping cart, you're just doing the next right thing because it's the right thing to do. But if you're one of those people that just leaves the shopping cart wherever it is and goes off, you know, you probably don't make that good decisions for others in the or in the greater schemes of things. But one of my amends is like returning shopping carts to a grocery store that I work next to that I stole from. And that's one of the ways that I pay for it. I clock out of work, and all the bums and stuff that live in the parking lot, they have shopping carts. I return those shopping carts, and it's not my job to do that, but that's just one of the ways that I give back. And maybe I shouldn't have shared that. Maybe that's going against like the integrity, but that's just, I don't know. That's what I thought of when I thought of you picking up a piece of trash, because that's what this thing
It's
is
all right. We
about.
ain't giving you no attaboys because you returned shopping cart.
but but yeah, man. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna share it up to you guys. That was a great share. Good to be here. Thanks, B. James, great share, man. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man, this guy was speaking. I was just thinking about you the whole time. I'm so happy to see your face here. It's a rare sighting, but it's always enjoyed while you're here. And I see a couple other people with their hands raised, Emily and James. But you were talking about thinking about going to Al-Anon. Do it, bro, because every addict has codependency problems. My coworker was in Al-Anon, and she definitely helped with my growth over the years, teaching me a lot of Al-Anon things of how to detach, not take shit personal, set your boundaries. This definitely helps in your recovery. Emily, go ahead.
Hey, James, thank you so much for sharing. Really resonated to the part where you were talking about, I feel this new sense of peace, and I'm a new person, and I'm not like the same piece of shit I used to be. Maybe I could go back to having a drink or two. And it really reminded me of when I started reading the blue book with my sponsor, and we got to the doctor's opinion, and we were talking about cravings, and I stopped her and I was like, yeah, but like everybody craves it. And she's like, no, not everybody has a craving to get like so fucking blacked out that they can't remember what happened that night. And that was such a crazy weird like wake up call to me. Like I really like I had never considered before that normal people didn't feel that way. I thought that they just had like a greater sense of willpower than I did. And that's when I really accepted like, okay, this disease thing has hit me, and this is where I am. Like that was a huge moment of acceptance for me. Like I think I had like little moments of acceptance in that journey. And I look back at the person I was before I got sober, and even the person I was before I really started working the program. And I have changed. Like I am a different woman. I have way more character and morals, and I'm not the victim of my life anymore. My life doesn't happen to me. Like I'm an active participant in what's happening. And I've had that thought. I'm like, well, why can't I just like go out to my friend's birthday dinner and have a drink or two and like get silly and like kiss somebody or whatever, whatever the fuck it is that I think would make me happy that night. And it's because I'm still sick. Like I'm in remission. You know what I mean? It's like a fucking diabetic. Like maybe I've managed my diabetes and I found this way, but if I start eating cookies and cake every night, my blood sugar is going to go crazy again. Like I haven't escaped this. I've created, I'm maintaining my health. I hope that makes sense. That feels like a rant, because like I remember when I was drinking, and I would tell people, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm mentally ill." And that was my thing. And I remember so many times I moved to a neighborhood, to like a shitty cheap one bedroom, so I could live near my favorite bars. So I could walk there, and I would be days like that I didn't have to work or whatever, like I would stay in bed until 6 or 7 p.m. when my friends started calling to the bars, and I would be like, "I'm not an alcoholic, I'm just depressed, and that's why I can't get out of bed in the morning." But then when my friends started hitting the bars, there I was at my, my vanity, putting my makeup on, ready to go get fucked up. And like, the only thing that stands between me being who I am now and that person is is a drink, and it might not be that one drink, it might not be 6 months of that, but that is what stands between that. So I really appreciate that you said that, and it made me not feel alone that I have those thoughts, because it made me feel selfish for thinking that way. I'm like, this is given so much to me, and here I am thinking like I can fuck it up, but I'm gonna choose every day to not fuck it up. So thank you, and thanks for sharing the rest of your story too. Really, really wonderful.
Hell
No
yeah,
problem.
thank you, Jim. James, I see you got your hands raised. You can go ahead. And welcome. Nice to see you. I don't know if you ever been here before, but I don't. You look familiar, but I don't know if you ever been here. So
Oh,
welcome.
I'm James. I'm a recovering addict.
We could barely hear you.
Oh shit.
If you got Bluetooth on,
Now is that better? Yeah, I just had to turn my speaker volume up. My bad, y'all. So what's up? I'm James. I'm a recovering addict and alcoholic. I've been clean from opiates for going on 6 years. I am just now 53, 54, I think, 54 days clean from alcohol. You know, we all go through it, obviously, some more than others. Man, I'm sorry that Ty left because that shit hit me with the shopping carts. It's funny, like today, I was at the grocery store. I was walking out of Walmart, and there was two ladies. One of the ladies put her shopping cart. I swear to God, I can't make this up. Put her shopping cart in a handicapped parking spot and then walked away from it, man. And it just pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? And I had no reason to be pissed at that. It had nothing to do with me, but man, it just made me fucking mad. And then there was another lady that literally walked her ass halfway across the parking lot to put her shopping cart in the shopping cart return spot. And when that lady was walking back and I walked by her, I stopped her and I said, "Listen, I know I don't know you and I know this is none of my business, but I just want to say thank you for putting that shopping cart back where it went." And she just looked at me and laughed and just walked on. And I just thought that shit was funny. It was that like it just clicked with me. James, that was a great share, man. Hey, knock it off, y'all. Quit. Hey, hold on. Sorry, my dog's fucking around. Hold up. Hey, quit. All right. So, James, great share, man. Like I'm still working on a lot of different things when it comes to my recovery. One of them is the gratitude checking, and I'm really like, like I said, I'm just now getting back into meetings. I'm just now getting into to getting any kind of step work done, and gratitude is one of my biggest problems, man. And hearing you say that you feel like you're on a contract with God about as long as you're doing the right thing, he'll keep this okay. Like I'm there as well. You know what I'm saying? I've stepped back into the church. I've gotten my spiritual connection back with my higher power as my choosing. You know what I mean? And I've been trying to work the gratitude thing because I have anger issues like bad. Like I just get mad at the stupidest shit. Like that lady that put that shit in the fucking retard in the handicap spot. I just wanted to push that bitch over, bro. Like I really like every part of my being was like, this old lady needs to be taken down. You feel me? For no fucking reason. For no reason whatsoever, other than the fact that I have issues. You feel me? So, like hearing you say that, like I really needed to hear that tonight because that's something that I am constantly trying to check myself for because I have a lot to be thankful for. Um, you know what I mean? The reason I stopped drinking is my wife left me. She wants a divorce. Um, I have children. You know what I mean? And I there's better things that I could be doing with my time in my life other than drinking alcohol. For me, it it makes them. I hate to say voices in my head because it's my own voice. It sounds like me, but he's not my friend kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that voice gets louder, and he's not nice. You know what I'm saying? He's not nice to me. He's not nice to the people around me. And when I drink, that I feel like drinking alcohol feeds that side of me. You know what I'm saying? Like it just constantly builds up and builds up and builds up, and I just get angrier and angrier and angrier, and then I get to the point where like I don't even have to be drinking, and that part of me is predominant. You know what I mean? And I've been really working on the gratitude part of it. So I really appreciate you sharing tonight, man. I really like I'm glad I took a second to step into this meeting. Um, I think I'll definitely be here every Sunday from here on out for sure. So again, I'm James. I'm just thankful to be here, and I appreciate everybody sharing because we all fucked up. Let's just be honest about it. Every one of us has got issues, but you know, it's like Ty said, you know, struggles have changed. But if they were meeting by a campfire to figure out how to hunt, why the fuck can't we meet on the cell phone, figuring out how to stay sober, how to stay clean, and how to stay positive with our own lives and our own mindset? You feel me? So
Hell yeah, that's good. Appreciate you joining us, James. And yeah, I don't know. I see the shopping cart thing here in South Florida all the time. People leave it and the shopping cart returns right there, and I make my kids return the shopping cart and I return it drives me fucking nuts. I fucking hate it. That thing irks my nerves. So when he said that, I found that funny too. But like James talking about the contract to God. Whether there's a saying down here in sunny South Florida in the rooms, it's you can't live dirty and expect to stay clean, right? So if you're living all those same negative character defects and behaviors, you're not gonna stay sober. You know what I mean? Like that. That's that thing, and I definitely get that inner voice, especially because I'm a heavy alcoholic drug addict. My home group outside of here is Drug Addicts Anonymous, but there's this story of the two wolves, which is the white wolf and the black wolf. And if you're feeding the black wolf the dark side, right, those voices seem to get louder, those things that aren't really you. But if you're feeding and nurturing the white wolf, all those good voices start coming in, right? And if you spend your whole life with thoughts and feelings of low self-worth and hatred, it's easy to have those voices seem so much louder in your head when you spend years in addiction and um drugs and not being of your true self and state of mind, man. So like when you're getting sober, it's all about like retraining your brain even down to the thought process. Every time you have a negative thought about self or somebody else, you replace it with a positive until it becomes natural behavior. And we definitely have more meetings than this one meeting on Sunday night. We have 5 meetings a week. If you go to the Juggalos and Recovery Facebook page, right at the top before you get to the post, there is links to every meeting that happens every night of the week. We have one Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday right now. And if anybody is trying to cheer a Saturday or a Monday, we're always looking for volunteers. Anyways, anybody else want to share? You can raise your hand, unmute your mic, share. If not, I'm gonna end all the recordings and you could share after that. And
What's up? No, man. I had a pretty bad 2 days, man. Uh, if you could keep my buddy EJ in your prayers. He was drunk driving and